Want to talk a little bit about this thing called the gender gap of health. And I wanted to read this little excerpt that came from an article I was evaluating earlier this morning. It says the longevity gap is responsible for the striking demographic characteristics of older Americans. More than half of all women older than age 65 are widows, and widows outnumber widowers by at least 3 to 1. And at age 65, for every 100 American women, there are only 77 men. At age 85, the disparity is even greater, with women outnumbering men 2.6 to 1. And that longevity gap persists into very old age. Let's talk about what some of the reasons for this longevity gap are.
Well, I think the first takeaway is it stinks to be a man, right? It's you're gonna die quicker. No, that's what that says. Honestly, there's a lot of differences between men and women. I mean, I look at it like this, and it's probably a different subject for a different day, but men are like waffles. They're doing one thing at a time, like this. I'm doing this right now. Don't bother me. I'm doing this. Women are like spaghetti. Everything connects. And it's like you touch one piece of spaghetti over here and it's going to infect it over here. That's not how men think. So we have a thinking difference. We have hormonal differences. We have chromosomal differences. And women actually do live longer than men. I think probably the overarching theme of that is it's probably by design because it requires a lady to get pregnant, right? To have babies, right? So you always have to have a supply of ladies around. So I think probably a lot of that is all those things included.
Well, one of the things that you mentioned is chromosomal,
Hmm.
and women have two X chromosomes, and males only have one.
Yep.
So in women, there is some chromosomal forgiveness because they have two of those genes, where a male is only carrying that one copy.
Yeah, and I suppose some of that is probably unknown at this point. What is it in that double X chromosome combination that elucidates probably more ability to heal quicker or have an immune system that deals with things better, longer? Don't know. I think there's the jury's still out on that, but obviously there's something there. I can tell you this, though, from a heart disease standpoint. I know men produce on average less of the HDL, the high density lipoprotein, and women produce more. And that in itself right there is pretty important.
And in the older generations, we saw a lot more males smoking than we saw females. However, I think we're starting to see that gender gap close as this thing called vaping is coming into play.
We are. And obviously, a lot of the data that we're looking at over time has history factored in. History is a sort of study of time. And as the more that gap goes forward and you have more time to look at, we possibly will see that gap, increase. But what we've seen too over the course of longevity over the last 100 years is we've seen the life expectancy go up exponentially. I mean, 20, 30, 40 years for each sex respectively. So it's a lot to do with it, but you're right on smoking over the course of time. It was predominantly males that were in commercials that were supporting, the selling of tobacco products.
Well, also in times gone by, it was the males that were in the workforce undergoing the majority of the stress.
Yeah.
And we know that stress can have a significant impact on health.
Well, the males I think are indeed by nature wired to protect and provide. It's what they do. So they're going to stand in the gap, if you will. If there's a lion coming, at the family, they're going to stand in the way and be the lion snack and let their family go free. And they're also genetically wired, I believe, to go out there and make a living. To hunt, gather, etc. And it's different, right? It's different. So there probably is a little different type of stress on the male historically.
Now we're seeing that change as more and more
Yeah.
young women are raising their children on their own. And not only are they raising children and being the head of the homestead, now they're having to be the head of the workforce too. So
Yeah.
that health gap is changing gender to gender, bringing women into those chronic health conditions that males are predisposed to as well.
Well, that's true. And What we're talking about is not a sexist thing at all. It's just the way things are culturally and the way things are today. So we're just giving you some general information based upon statistics and things that we've seen.
Well, what do you think about risky behavior, taking a life out earlier? Things like not just smoking, but males have a tendency to be more thrill seekers than females, like race car driving, skydiving, uh, fast car racing, just being involved in taking bigger risks.
Well, I think part of that goes, and this is again probably a little controversial, but probably true. The male sports are disparately higher in money potential. Like male football is going to raise more money than female volleyball. Not to say that football is more valuable than volleyball. So I think that men are more leaning towards that area to take these physical sport risk more often in that area. I think it's probably something that's wired in them. Not saying women can't do it at all, and they do. I'm saying that that's just the general pattern.
I've also seen, with the health gap, male to female, women oftentimes take better care of their health in terms of nutrition
Yeah.
than the males do. Oftentimes they're cooking the meals, they're more conscious about being a little overweight versus the males.
Well, I think that I've said this to many people in my office, and it makes sense to me as a male. The reason women take better care of themselves physically in general is because they're reminded of their health every 28 days for 40 years. They have a reminder of that. Men don't have a reminder. And so because of that, women tend to be more proactive in health. And we need to all become proactive in our health. And we need to all begin to understand the differences between men and women, because sometimes the conversation gets a little bit off, especially in couples, because we don't understand these differences. So take some of the things we've said to you today and understand the differences. The Mars-Venus concept is pretty cool. And begin to do everything you can to work together to enhance both of your lives forward-looking as a couple into the future. So we hope this helps. Come visit us at Sherwood.tv or give us a call.
How can boosting your daily nutrition save you money? I'm Dr. Michelle Sherwood.
And I'm Dr. Mark Sherwood. Kingdom Fuel costs about a third of the average lunch and will supersize your nutrition.
Our unique meal shakes are balanced, low glycemic, rich in fiber with 20 grams of clean protein, essential vitamins and minerals, healthy fats, and organic fruits and vegetables.
Kingdom Fuel is a simple start to a transformed life.
Hello, I'm Kevin Sorbo. Now, there's an old saying, it's not what you know, but who you know that matters. Now, that's true in our careers, spiritual life, and when it comes to our health and overall well-being. Today, most of us know a lot of information about health and nutrition, but are we really doing anything with it? So here's what I've learned from working with Doctors Michelle and Mark Sherwood. They're the founders of the Functional Medical Institute. You need a wellness plan that's customized based on your unique needs. Now remember, real change can only happen when you address the whole person. That is exactly what Mark and Michelle do, and why they are people you should know. They'll help you discover what you need to experience transformation. Find out more at Sherwood.tv/Sorbo. That's Sherwood.tv/Sorbo, or just see the link below. Have a great day and God bless.
Let's shine the spotlight on one of our star supplements.
The human body can make most of the types of fats it needs from other fats or raw materials, but not omega-3 fatty acids, also called omega-3 fats or N3 fats.
These are essential fats that the body must get from food.
Biomega 1000 provides a potent dose of omega-3 essential fatty acids sourced from a strategically placed fishing facility in the far South Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile.
Each capsule delivers an impressive 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA, and the capsules also contain vitamin E. See the link below for a special offer, and remember, don't be fooled by cheap online knockoffs.